So, I wanted to spend less money on books since I have a shelf full of unread books. Yeah, that didn't go that well. Hello, fellow mushroom people, it's Laura. I haven't said my name in quite a while. Yeah, but anyways, so today I'm doing a haul video. Usually I buy books on a very irregular basis because my bookstore, it's not like I order them on one day and then I get them on the next day. Sometimes they need like 4 weeks to arrive and sometimes less, sometimes more. It's never really foreseeable when they will arrive. But this time around I got quite lucky and I got few books at the same time. So I think I have 7 books with me right now. And I thought, why not do a haul? I've never done that. I like to watch them, but I've never done one myself. So I thought, why not do it? Alright, so the first book I bought is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. This is a dystopian book for adults, not a YA dystopian, so I think we can get some more coherent stuff that actually makes sense in this book, I hope. I don't know too much about it, and to be honest, I don't really want to know too much, because it's a very short book. It's only like 300 pages long, and I have the feeling that if I read the back of the book and learn what it's about, that it will take away from the actual enjoyment of reading it. So I decided to not really learn. I mean, it's a very popular book, obviously, and I've seen lots of people talking about it, but I don't think that I've ever watched the videos where they talk about this book in detail, so I've skipped all those parts. Yeah, but this is the first one I bought, and I think I want to read it in May. So I think many of the books that I bought are books that I have picked up to read soon. I don't know what it's like for you, but whenever I buy books, most of them I want to pick up immediately and have so many books on my shelf that have been there for quite a while and they haven't gotten much love, so they've just been standing there and waiting for me to read them, and I never do because I read all the new books. But yeah, I think I will pick this up in May. So the next book I bought because I saw it on Tabi's channel from Tabi and her books is The Address book by Deirdre Mask. So I think this is a nonfiction book about what an address can tell us about the world. And I think I've said before that I'm a map nerd, so I've read, so he's actually quoted on the cover, Simon Garfield. I think he wrote the other book about maps. I think it's called On the Map. I think that was him. I'm not really 100% sure, but I really enjoyed that book because it was about maps in general. So this is more about the addresses of people and what they say about the people. And I think that's really interesting because I grew up always having an address. So in Germany you have to put down an address where the authorities can just reach out to you. So you have to tell them where you live, and when you move you have to tell them immediately so you can change your address on your like identification card. So not having an address was never an issue for me, but I think it's not the case for many people. So I'm really interested to see what this book tells us about addresses, and yeah, it sounds really interesting. So in one of my last videos I talked about my 100 subscriber special, and not surprisingly the review on a boat won the contest. So I thought, why not read a maritime, is that a word, a boat book for the boat review. So I decided to go for The Deep by Alma Katsu. So as you can see on the cover, this is about ghosts on the Titanic and her sister ship, I think it's the Gigantic? Britannic. Why do I think it's Gigantic? I'm not sure. But anyways, I don't really know that much about it. So this book got recommended to me by Ariel from reading one. Sorry, I just spaced out there. She actually came up with quite a few like sea books, water type boat books, and this one sounded interesting. I think it's like a thriller horror book, and I don't read a lot of those, so it's something different, and it's not too long, and I think it will be perfect for the boat review. So the next book I bought is The Magicians by Lev Grossman. So a few days back we were watching The Magicians TV show on Amazon Prime, and it's not good. So this is you don't have to use your brain to watch this show, and it's very nonsensical and weird, which I generally like, but it's weird in a kind of it's not good way. But the concept for this universe in general, and I think they changed a lot in the actual show, but the concept for this for the series, the book series, is really interesting because it's about a guy who I think discovers that magic is real, and he always read those Fillery books when he was younger, and then he learns that the world from those stories might be real, and that it's tied to the experiences that he has at his new magic school where he goes to. So I think the concept sounds really, really great, and I always wanted to try this out for like quite a while. It also has one of those fake stickers. It's just an original series on sci-fi. Yeah, but it's not good, so don't waste your time. But yeah, I think I just want to read it. And also, can I just say that the spine looks very cool? So I think that's one spine that I would like to have on my shelf. But yeah, I really want to try this out. Okay, so the next book I bought is actually another random book that I saw pop up on my newsfeed, and it said like something like Stephen King says this is great, and a newspaper said so as well. And actually, so this is the German edition. It's Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby, and actually on the back it says, I don't know if you can see it, but it says, "I loved Blacktop Wasteland." So the quote from Stephen King, and the quote is in English. I don't know why. I mean, we actually do have a word for love in German, so they could have just translated that. But yeah, so this will be my random book for May or maybe June. I don't know if I want to read it right away. So this is about an auto mechanic, and he is a father of children. And he's also a getaway driver. And then he does a robbery and has to find out that the cops are his smallest problem. So, to be honest, it doesn't sound that exciting. But Stephen King loved it, and he knows stuff about books. So, and it's a random book, and I said that I wanted to do more random books, and so I picked this up. Okay, and so oh no, it's not the final book. It's just I thought I was done. But no, the next book is The Rune of Kings by Jenn Lyons. So this is the German edition, and I said before that American books are murder machines, but I was wrong. This is a murder machine. Look at that. It's also really heavy, and so I don't think I can hold it with one hand. Yeah, I could have gotten the English paperback edition, but I didn't want to. I don't know why. I just saw it on the internet, and it's really interesting to see this book getting a translation. So sometimes I get the feeling that those German publishers are very, very random with what gets a translation and what doesn't. So I think this is one of the more obscure fantasy series. So I've seen it around on BookTube, and I've seen other people do videos about the series. But I think it's gotten a lot of mixed reviews because of the structure, the way the story in this book is told, because it relies on unreliable narrators. So I think one other booktuber, I don't can't recall who it was, described the book as someone tells a story and then another person comes in and says, no, that's not how it happened. And then another person comes in and says, no, that's not how it happened. And so to me, it sounded really intriguing, and that's why I picked it up. Yeah, so, but I don't know why this has a translation and so many other series don't have one, even though they are way better received in general. But yeah, I don't know. I think this publishing house, the Hobbit Press, they usually just do like a lot of the Ring stuff and also some heavier fantasy novels. So I think that's the jam, and that's why this got a translation. But yeah, I'm quite excited for this book actually, and I was always like, yeah, but I have the first volume of the Malazan books, and then I have the Farseer trilogy, the first book of those, and some other books and some other fantasy series that I've already started and have to still read, and that's why I never wanted to pick this up, and now I have this very huge brick. But yeah, I'm excited for this, and I will read it, I think. Okay, and so the final book I bought is Tower by Bae Hyung-Hoon, which I'm probably saying wrong. So this is a book by a Korean author, and a while back when BookTube was promoting books written by Asian authors, I had a conversation with Asina from Beating Around the Books, and she told me about, I think it's called Honford Star. So it's a very small publishing house based in the UK, and they do translations of Asian novels. So this is translated from Korean, but they also have, I think, from Taiwanese and some other things. I think mainly Taiwanese and Korean books. And so she told me about this publishing house, and I went there to check them out and just look at this cover. So it's really amazing, and I had to buy it, and the story is equally as interesting. So it says, Tower is a series of interconnected stories set in a 674-story skyscraper and sovereign nation. Each story deals with how citizens living in the hypermodern high-rise deal with various influences of power in their lives. A group of researchers have to tell their boss that a major power broker is a dog. A woman uses the power of the internet to rescue a downed fighter pilot abandoned by the government, and an out-of-towner finds himself in charge of training a gentle elephant to break up protests. Bae explores the forces that shape modern life with wit and a sly wink at the reader. That sounds great. I'm really looking forward to this book. So I wanted to do a buddy read with Asina. So the funny story is that I ordered this at my local bookstore, and I never actually expected them to get it because it's such a obscure book. And I think Sina ordered the book via the publisher, and they sent her the package with the book, and it still hasn't arrived. And I've got mine, which I never expected to get at all. So I'm really happy that this book made it into my hands because it sounds so interesting, and I'm really looking forward to read it. And the cover looks great, right? It's so awesome. Yeah. So if you're interested in some translated Asian stories, you should check out the Honford Star. I'll leave a link down below for the publishing house, and then you can get your own copy. Okay, so that's all the books I hauled. I actually hauled some other things because in my area, in my town, a new bookstore opened. So actually it's not really a new bookstore, it's just another store from a bookstore chain. And I don't really want to go there and buy books because I have my local bookstore, and this one probably doesn't have the books that I want anyways. But I needed a new bookmark. So I got this one because it's cute and it glows in the dark. So I have a new bookmark now, and I also bought a mug because it says meow, and it said cute animal mug on the packaging, and I was like, yeah, it's a cute animal mug, and now I have a cute animal mug. So It also has legs. Isn't that cute? Yeah, but anyways, the store's really nice, and I think I will return to that place to roam, because my local bookstore is very small. Like, you have just one very small shelf for fantasy books, and I think half of those fantasy books are for young adults or kids, and so they don't really have that many books in their store, and they have one tiny shelf for English books. But yeah, I order all that I need anyways. But I like to roam through a bookstore and just discover some new stuff. So I think now that I have like BookTube to discover new books, that's great. But I also like to just walk through a store and just look at the covers and the books, and then pick up something that looks nice. And yeah, for that I think I can see myself revisiting that store. But yeah, that's all the things I bought, and I think that's enough for now. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon.